Today I'm going to show you how to take a static invitation and make it something incredible. So let's get cracking. Friends, we are going to be working with VisualGPT. If you have not seen my earlier videos, I will have a bit.ly up here so you can check out the beginning ones. So real quickly, here's how this is going to work. I have got a TubeBuddy subscription. I recently hit 85,000 subscribers. Of course, this makes my day, but I thought it would be awesome if I could take this static image and make it animated. Let me walk you through the steps. I'm going to bounce to my projects. And this is the prompt. I'll bump over here so we can modify and adjust it so you can see it all. I pasted in the image. I just drug it up here and I said, please animate the elements in this image. I would love to have the phrase thank you appear during the clip. I would also love fireworks as part of my celebration. I chose to use Seed Dance 2. I do like this one because it's been around a little bit longer. I also tried Gemini Omni and Happy Horse, and I was not as happy with those results. Notice as you experiment with these different ones, they do cost you different amounts of credits. I did want to swap to 9:16 format, so it was for a phone. I stayed with 480p, and then I wanted it to last 10 seconds. Cost me 330 credits. So now that you know what I typed, let's bounce back to the projects and let me show you how it turned out. If we hit play, my simple static image now has animation. How cool is that? Now, as I said, I did try Happy Horse. Not quite as fond of this one. And I also tried the Google video. Not quite as fond as this. It was just so much further away than the real version that I wanted. I did love the stars and the thank you. So everything had its own little part that was awesome. But this one is by far my favorite. So this brings us to today's project. Find any image, graduation, wedding, whatever you want, and let's make it awesome. Start by hitting the AI video generator. I'm going to show you how to do it with Seed Dance 2, and this time I'm going to do it with a wedding invitation. I think these would be fantastic with graduation announcements, or anything that you want to celebrate and just make a little more fun. I'm also going to highlight today that you can have saved prompts. So I've got one that does the cartoon me, but I do not have a saved prompt for this idea. We're going to make that saved prompt right now. So here is the prompt I have created. Please make this wedding invitation animated. I would like the text to pop off the page. The date needs to be highlighted during the clip. I would like the flowers to animate. Please add a bird somewhere in the clip. I would also like to make sure it's classy, not overly busy. Now that's my prompt, but we can also click on it and optimize it. I'm going to hit that button and let it do its thing. I like letting it do this because I think this speaks the computer's language better than I do. Now do double check what it says. I want to make sure these things show up. Right now I'm going to say that all of this is fantastic. I also want to make sure that I'm setting it the right way. So I want this for phones. I'm going to stay with 480p. I want it to last 10 seconds. That's a number I like. It's going to cost me 330 credits. I'm going to leave real person input on, and I'm going to enable sound. Now I want to save this because I might use this same idea for other projects. So I'm going to click right here and I'm going to choose to save this prompt for later. I'm going to call this Animate Invitation and simply save it for the next time I do a similar prompt. Close the window and let's hit generate to see what we make. All right, so here we are back about 8 to 10 minutes later, and this is our fun prompt. And I could not be more pleased with the results. Absolutely a blast, way more fun than just a static image. Of course, do make sure you double check that it all says what you expect. AI can make mistakes. Of course, it's just doing its best, and we need to be the ones that make sure it does what we truly want. Wrapping up quickly. Love the way this project turned out, and I love the idea of taking a static image, invitation, celebration, whatever you've got, and all of a sudden you can send it to VisualGPT, and in a moment's time, you can have an awesome animated image to share what you want with the rest of the world. Way more fun than trying to figure out how to do it yourself, and I think the results are absolutely awesome. Of course, if you choose to make something fantastic with this skill, I'd love if you also found a way to let me know about it either through the comments or maybe my Patreon messaging area. I do quickly want to say thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Also, make sure you pay attention for those members only posts. Also, a massive shout out to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. It has a fantastic free messaging area. You can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe, you're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day and keep tinkering.